let's look at the plain simple things that you can actually learn and know easily to connect with people and build stronger relationships. So, I'm going to show you a diagram and we're going to talk about the 4 different personalities. So let me draw it in a very simple way for you and you will see it on the screen. There are 4 main categories. I'm just going to divide this into 4 for you. Now, what you will see, even on the screen, there are 4 different types of personalities common. Now, I know there's other personality diagrams and things that's talking about visual and audio and kinesthetic and all sorts of things. They're fantastic. I love it, but I think sometimes it can become so complicated. Now, the one thing is a personality is called direct. A direct personality is exactly what it means. They are direct to the point. The next one is to do with expressive. Express. I'm just going to write express, it's actually expressive. And the next one is called amiable, or some people call it amicable. Amiable. And the last one is analytical. Analytic. Now, on your screen, you're going to see these 4 different types of personalities. But before I delve into the personalities, I want to talk to you first about 2 types of myths that we have to understand about personalities. Here's the first myth. You do not have a personality. I see how this limits people when they say, I can't do that, I'm an analytical person, I'm just done with numbers, I cannot connect with people, I can't be friendly and be social. Other people say, this is the type of person as I can't change. This is what I don't like about people who are saying, I am this personality when they fill out a personality type. That's actually not true. You do not have a personality. The second myth is when you think, I filled out a personality profile and that's who I am. That's actually not true, because if you would fill in that personality and you are a happy person, it's almost Friday afternoon, you're about to go on a long weekend, and the way you fill it in would be completely different than a Monday morning after you had a big weekend and I'll do this personality type, right? It will be different even though it's the same person. So the key that you have to understand, personalities move. It's like an equalizing system. So if you see here on the screen an equalizer, it's almost like a car radio, right? There's all these knobs, or you've got a microphone with a treble, a bass, a fade, or these sliders. So just to give you a clear indication on this, it could be that your direct personality, the first one, could be 50%. Your slider here on the expressive one could be 20%. And the next one is your amiable one could be also 20%, and your analytical one 10%. And your personality looks like this, right? I don't know if you can see it clearly. Yes, I know it ends up at 100%. Yes. Does that mean you're analytical? No, it doesn't mean you're analytical. You just have that part of your brain. So what I'm saying here is you've got a combination of all 4. And here's the thing you have to keep in mind. They move. They move based on pressure. When you get pressurized into a certain situation, you get angry, frustrated, right? And also could be time. The environment that you are in can affect it. So many other things. Alcohol, drugs, mood, time of day, all sorts of things can affect it. So your personality is not stable. That's why you don't have a personality. It can fluctuate. Now, we're going to cover each one individually. I'm going to come to a direct personality. So as you can see, a direct personality loves to keep things short. How do you spot them? Well, listen to the conversation. They talk in short, sharp bullet points. Yes, absolutely. I can meet you there at 2 o'clock at the corner of Church and Hill Street. Perfect, let's lock it in. You say, okay, so John, do it. Boot, boot. They've already put down the phone. They direct, they get to the point. if you look at their decision-making process, they calculate in their head the cost, the return on investment. Is this going to work out? Is this worth it? So while you are talking, they are trying to figure out, is this going to work? Because if you look at the interest at the bottom, it says results. These people are interested in results. If you look at the interest, they're interested in results, which means if you want to sell them something, they don't care so much about the product, who is selling it to them. They want to know, is the product going to work? Is it going to show up on time? Am I going to get customer service? Is the price right? So these people are more interested about results than anything else. Same thing if you talk to your leader, if you talk to your staff. While you're talking to them, they want to get to the point. Don't come with a long way around if you talk to a staff member about, yes, there's a great probability if they are a direct personality. And you know what, the company has done a lot of research, and they would just go, listen, just tell me what you want to tell me. So they want to get to the point. While you're talking to them, they will calculate, was I involved in this? How much was I involved? How much am I about to be blamed for this? And they would also go, so what do we do? Why are you telling me this? What is the result? What are we going to get from this conversation? Direct personalities is actually really nice to sell to, because they will tell you, the price is too high, or can you do it at 2 o'clock and then I'll buy it. So very easy to sometimes deal with. They know what they want and they can calculate it in their head. Remember something? I'll say it again. There's variations of being direct. You can get a mildly direct person, but also a very high, extremely direct person. For argument's sake, a mildly direct person would say, oh, Trevor, it's pretty windy out here today. A very direct person would say, gee, Trevor, where's your hair? Right? So they can have a bit of mild directness or extreme directness. Same with expressive, same with amiable, and the same with analytical. So if you want to write down a very important word or circle this, if you've got this diagram, is this. With direct people, it's to do with results. They are wanting to know what is the result they're going to get. And that's a simple direct personality. Now we're going to move over and we're going to get to a very interesting personality type called expressive. So if you look there, it says it's a personal focus. They do quick and personal motivation in their decision making, and they're very holistic and the benefits to the ego. So what does this mean? These people take things a bit personal. They will express their opinion even if you didn't ask them for their opinion. So there's going to be one word you're going to hear all the time. And that word, I'm going to write this in red, is the word I. I think, I believe, I can tell you that's not going to work. Listen, I've been working in this factory for 18 years. Hey, I started working here while you were still in diapers. I've seen, I've heard. Do you know people like that? We all do, right? They are personal motive. It's when they have to make a decision, they don't care so much sometimes about the product. It's just, am I going to look good? Am I going to look smart? Is this going to help me look better? So if you look at the bottom of that screen, it says it's the holistic and benefits to the ego. So what this means is, yes, there could be a bit of ego involved in this. I don't think and I believe. This is very actually easy to talk to these people. When you constantly hear, I think, I believe, I do, the whole time, there's one word that you need to use, and that word is you. Wow, Paul, or wow, Sarah, you know a lot about this topic. Yeah, I know a lot. I've been here for 18 years. Wow, you've been here 18 years and you've probably seen some products. If you buy a terrible product or a cheap product, how quickly the stuff breaks. Yeah, I've seen a lot. I've seen my fair share. And what do you think will work and how do you see it? The more you change the conversation to you're going to build strong relationships and great connection with these people. They actually make a quick decision if it benefits them. Now, one of the things you have to understand with expressive people is do not try to prove them wrong, because frankly speaking, is they will just argue and fight with you until they are right, or until you give up, or if you think you won and you walk away, they would go, you don't know what you're talking about. And they would still believe they are right. Just one word there in the interest side is holistic. What does holistic mean? Holistic means bigger picture. It is funny actually that I have seen, and I'm standing correct here if anybody wants to add to this video, is when expressive people, the personality type goes higher, that 4 things goes really higher, the analytical side actually seesaws with it, it goes down. So people who believe, I think and I believe this is right and I've seen it and you ask them for proof, right? The analytical side, the numbers, the facts, they would say, no, I'll tell you, I've seen it because I know, I've been here. So they sometimes won't back it up with a lot of facts and details and data. They would rather back it up with their own opinion about it. So just don't prove them wrong. And what you want to do is say, so what would you say if somebody would show you a demonstration and they figured out the cure, or they've changed it to this, right? So that was really a good way to see to how they would think. But don't go out full out to try and prove them wrong. If you do that, you will lose the sale. Now, if you talk to a leader or to a peer, this can sometimes be challenging because these people would sometimes believe that they are right. And there's a certain fine line at a point where you actually have to bring people in, instead of trying to prove them wrong, rather come back to the vision of the company or maybe a procedure and say, I understand that you think this is right. Until this, we're going to follow this procedure. It's like some people, you would get them on the road, they would believe they are right. They are allowed to drive here. But even though the road rules are telling them they're not allowed to, but they believe they are. Rather don't argue with the person, rather come back to the rules and the regulations. Now we're going to go to a third personality, which is a very lovable personality, and that is called amiable or amicable. So what does that mean? On the diagram, you would see, for time reasons, it says until it feels right for other people. So they would talk to you about other people. They're very interested in other people, and in their decision making, they go with the majority of people and they avoid this risk, which I will tell you now in a moment. And it's about the interest, is all about the feel and the effects for other people. So these are people who are people orientated. They love people. They care about people. They care about other people's feelings, their opinions. So when they say go with the majority of people, one of the key things about this personality in amiable, if they personality type is quite high up in amiability, they don't like to make a decision. So this can be a bit frustrating in sales because they want to do a survey. They just want to get everybody's opinion on this chair that they want to buy or this new software that they want to buy. They will not make a single decision. Just keep that in mind if you go to places where you have to sell into care, like healthcare and hospitals and psychology and occupational therapists and people. So they geared into helping people. Right, so they don't, and hospitality, so they want to look after people, and they don't like to make a rock solid decision. They just want to maybe ask people's opinion, and there's nothing wrong with this. That's just the way they operate. They feel comfortable after they heard everybody's opinion. So a simple way in sales how you can deal with an amiable personality is bring them samples and get more people in the room and ask everybody for their opinion, or ask that person, I'm going to generate a survey and let people fill it in. Let's hear everybody's opinion. They feel far more comfortable to make that decision after they've heard from more people. And the larger the group, the more easier it is. And they will probably reply and say, well, that was my favorite one as well. No, it wasn't. They just want to conform. They just want to make sure that they don't upset people. They're very lovable people. I think in some cases when they are extremely amiable, some people take too much advantage of them, and that's something I don't really like, that other people take advantage of people. They're carers. People who who wants to actually do right to you. So if you know people like that, don't take advantage of them just because they're likable. They actually just want to be your friend. They actually want to comply. They're just trying to protect you, not to feel bad or sad. So if you've got customers like this, show them stories. So for them, it's all about emotion. And the best way to communicate with these people is through stories and how people felt and what happened, and then they did this and now they're happy. And so when you want to sell to them as people who are really frustrated, sitting on chairs, they always had backache and headaches and they couldn't function and focus at work until we gave them these chairs, and now everybody's happy. So it's the emotional side, the story side. It's actually on the pathos side of the brain, the right hand side. It's the creative side. So they buy into the emotional side. So very good personality to have and also to work with. Just remember that they will not necessarily make a decision on the spot. And even if you force them, they would rather say no than to say yes. So what about staff who's an amiable type personality? Well, if you've got staff who's lovable and careable and care about people, and it's that thing, I'm going to make coffee, is there anybody else who wants coffee? That type of personality. They want to be inclusive of people. They want to make sure everybody's happy and settled and been heard. Help that person. Give them some jobs and things to do where other people will feel happy. They love it. They feel that nurturing and need in them. But if you have to have a conversation with him, don't go hard on them on facts and your opinions and stuff. Don't always ask them, what is your opinion? What do you think? They would say, well, what's happy for everybody else? So it's really not going to help you from a leadership point of view to connect with staff or people. Rather, these people function on compliments as well. Hey, you're doing a great job. I'm really happy with this. And by the way, this will happen in all the personalities. If you tell people, look, I'm happy with you and I love working with you. But these people especially, they feel I matter. I'm making a difference. So it's a great way if you want to talk to them and get a message across. Here's my tip. Tell it in a story. Hey, we're going to now go over the last personality called analytical personalities. Now, if you look on the screen here, you would see these people normally take a lot of time. It'll feel like they're wasting your time, especially if you're a direct personality. And they only make a decision after they have all the facts, not some of the facts, all the facts, plus the interest, how they like things is step by step and with a lot of data. Now, this would be for people maybe who needs to have an analytical type style where there's numbers and facts and detail and sequences and steps to be to apply. Now, what do you do with analytical people? Yes, you can give them time, but at some point they need to make a decision, isn't it? I get the salespeople there. Trevor, how can I hurry them up? The best way to do is give them facts. Facts, numbers, detail. Numbers, facts, details. They don't care so much about the emotion. They care about the analytics, the proof, the measuring, what have you done? And please don't confuse them. They like it organized, analytical. Think of an accountant with a profit and loss statement or a balance sheet. If it doesn't align, there's something wrong. We need to do all the calculations again. So if you mess up and just give them a lot of data and send them data sheets of your pumps or your valves or your opening rate or the temperature or something, they now have to sit and really scan through everything. Rather give it to them organized and tell them the importance of the deadline with numbers. If we're going to take too long, we won't be able to implement this for you by June. Or this is going to cost us an extra 15% in overheads. So numbers, that will make sense to them. Not that the end user is going to be unhappy or anything like that. It really doesn't move the needle for them. It's about facts. So there you have it. 4 personalities, a bit different, but it's still one person. Remember, you have all 4 of these personalities. I have them, your customers have them, your family members have them. But let me draw it to a conclusion for you here so that you can understand. You might be 50% direct, 20% expressive, 20% amiable, and 10% analytical. This is your normal operating state of personality at work. But how can personalities change? Is there something wrong with you? Do you have a split personality? Do you have a multiple personality disorder? No, you don't. No, you don't. It's still you. The other ones just come into play. Somebody's playing around with your fade and your treble and your bass, right, to mix it up a bit. That's okay. But it brings out life into you, because if you were the same day in and day out, you would have been pretty boring. Okay, so what this means is a direct personality. Let's give an example. It's a person that's at work and have to approve certain things and calculate and make a decision quite quickly at work, and they're done at work, they get up and they go home. As soon as they get home and they open up the front door, their 5-year-old daughter comes running to them and say, "Daddy, Daddy, Dad." Do you think a direct personality will say, "Hey, stop, results. Hey, tell me the 5 things you did today at school"? No, they won't. You see, directness is going to drop and your amiability will increase massively. This is when you're going to go, "Come here, give me a hug. Oh, Johnny pushed me, I fell, I hurt my arm." You would immediately show compassion, emotion, say, "Are you okay? How did you feel? And what did the teacher say?" Isn't it? You see, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just because the environment changed. There's different pressure, there's different emotions involved. So of course your amiability is going to go up. So what about amiable people? Can they become more analytical? Of course they can. But you said, "Trevor, these people is more concerned about their emotion rather than facts." It's true. But if you take an amiable person and say, "Go and buy a house," you need to go and inspect it and put an offer in. They would feel a bit uncomfortable, but trust me, when they get there, they say, "Hey, how far is the school from here? That swimming pool, is there an inspection done on this? How many bedrooms are here?" They would ask number, facts, details, because they have to make that decision. So amiability is going to go away a bit. Instead of just going, "I love everything, let's just buy the house," they would start to ask a far more analytical type questions. Can an analytical person become direct? Because if you look at the diagram at the top of analytical, say they take a lot of time. And expressive people, they want to shorten the time. And that's exactly it. Sometimes you need to, analytical people, can I say it in the right way, set their house on fire. We need to get going, right? So it's like, for argument's sake, if you take an analytical person, right, and you set the house on fire, and let's say his wife is saying, "Come on, we need to get out of the house." He would probably not say, "Whoa, sit down, just pass me my tablet or a calculator. Let's do a quick depreciation report to see what are we going to save in the fire. Should we save those couches or that portrait?" Or they're not going to do that. They're going to go, "Get the dog, get our passports, get out of the house," right? That's how they're going to operate. They're going to have to make a decision. So sometimes with analytical people, put a deadline for them a bit, a softer, medium-sized deadline, so that they can make a decision, and give them good facts and reasons to make a decision faster. What about this one? Trevor, you are skipping this one with a red. I know. This one is a very interesting personality. The problem is with expressive people, and if you feel like, that's a lot me, I want to give you a bit of a tip, because expressive people can sometimes become very opinionated about a topic, and they can keep going, and even if somebody proves them wrong or challenges them, they will go, "No, I still think this." Even if your brain is telling you something that you need to become more compassionate or calculate something, you're like, "No, you will just back yourself." Here's a big tip. If you feel like sometimes this personality ruins certain things for you, learn to do one thing: ask. Instead of telling people what you think, say, what do you think? What is your opinion on this? And don't immediately back it up. Well, I think. Don't do that. You're going to burn relationships and connection with people. So there you have it. 4 personalities. Look, a lot of people will try to sell you personality types. I would say fill out a personality type. It's great. Just keep a couple of these handful tips in the back of your mind, even if you sell. Number one question salespeople ask me is, "Trevor, should I constantly change? Should I be like a chameleon or fake?" No, you're not. All you do is you are smart. If you talk to somebody who is analytical, they're still a human being. Their gearbox is just different. I mean, you're not going to jump in a car that's got a manual stick, right, that you're going to drive with a gearbox and climb in and say, well, I am an automatic personality, so I'm going to presume that this person or this car is now automatic. If you do that and you just put the car in first and think that's drive, and you just put your foot down, you're going to go, the car is going to beg you, please change gears. And you say, no, it's an automatic, it's drive. You're probably going to pop or burn that motor. You need to become smart and clever, especially as leaders and salespeople. When people have a different personality, you want to make a connection with them. You're going to have to adjust your gear sticks and your levers. If a person is manual, use the manual. If you feel like a person is direct, get to the point. Don't come up with a long, wafty story. If a person is expressive, use the you. If a person is amiable, tell them a story, a testimonial. And if a person is analytical, talk about numbers and facts. You are going to connect with people a bit more. The more we can become flexible and take other people into consideration, then rather think that everybody else has to be the same as what I am, the more rapport and connection you're going to build. My name is Trevor Ambrose. Hey, I would love to hear your thoughts on personality types. If you've got any questions, please fill it in the comment section below. And if you want more videos, head to our website at trevorambrose.com, and I would love to connect and hear from you.